Welcome to Running Fever, episode 82. Today we're going to talk about dealing with the season of summer and managing exercise in very hot weather. I've been lost at least twice today in various errands that I was running, places that I was going. And it wasn't like I was really bad lost and couldn't find my way back. It was kind of like that it's an adventure being lost. And I wasn't on too much of a time crunch, so it didn't matter that much. But today, I feel a little bit lost. Now I'm on a new trail here, and last episode we hopefully had some video for you, and just want to especially welcome those in Sweden and the United Arab Emirates and Japan and all the other places. 21 nations are now a part of Fever Nation. You see, our nation crosses national boundaries. It's a nation of nations, if you will, who are just perhaps discovering my domain, otherwise known as, for the most part, Northwest Arkansas. We did a podcast in Louisville, Kentucky. We did a podcast in Hernando, Mississippi. And I've done one podcast, I believe, just driving in Arkansas somewhere. So we've been around a little bit, but this is the domain of Running a Fever. So welcome. Just passing a swimming pool, I can hear the children making their child noises, and can even smell the chlorine. And I'm assuming you are not smelling it. I don't know that I would take that. If there exists, and there probably does exist, a machine in which you can program smells and it will deliver them as the video plays. I wouldn't be surprised if there's one homemade or very expensive one of those available. Now, I have been to a 4D movie. They call them 4D because it starts out with your basic 3D movie on the screen, and then there's a physical aspect. And the seats kind of rumble and move around a little bit. Air is blowing in your face from various angles, and I can't remember what else. But there weren't any smells that I remember. So that wasn't even part of the 4D movie experience. I don't know if I care too much for it, but I probably could get used to it. I've only seen one theater, and that was in Guadalajara, Mexico. Today I'm on the Skull Creek Trail, and I'm heading back to the Mud Creek Trail. Traveled most of the Mud Creek Trail, and it wound up, and I'm in a tunnel now. Isn't that fun? And I've walked today on the Razorback Greenway, which runs throughout Northwest Arkansas on various trails, including Lake Fayetteville and Mud Creek and Skull Creek, or at least Skull Creek. And so I'm now heading back. I feel like I've been lost. I've been on the right trail the whole time. I haven't taken a wrong turn. That was pretty easy to see. But as far as how far I went, I think I might have gone a little too far. So when I left at the end of the Mud Creek Trail, there was a mile marker, like I'm familiar with seeing on the Lake Fayetteville Trail. It said 0 miles on the Mud Creek Trail and I believe it said 3.75 miles on the Skull Creek Trail. So that would have been going backwards, I assume. Maybe not. I really don't know. So I attempted to calculate that I probably should go to about the 3.25 mile marker, assuming they're every quarter of a mile. And I say attempted because I really, I didn't really do
Warning.
a good...
Live math. Warning.
No, Amy,
Live
I'm
math.
not doing math. I'm just explaining that I can't do it.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Thanks. You're just trying to do your job, I understand. Anyway, so just like the Lake Fayetteville Trail, the Skull Creek Trail joins the Razorback Greenway for a while. And I did not see I saw little signs that said Skull Creek Trail, so I knew I was still on the Skull Creek Trail, but I didn't see any more Skull Creek Trail mile markers. All I saw was mileage indicated for Lake Fayetteville. I suppose it's possible that they're the same, and I just misread the marker, but I don't think so. In any event, once I had gone a whole half mile on the Razorback Greenway, then I turned around because I know that is more than 2.5 miles. At least I'm pretty sure it is. And I've already been walking for 1 hour and 23 minutes. There was video in the last episode, and I don't think you'll have video for this episode because I don't have enough space to accommodate the length of the video that it would take. But we're on the way back anyway, so it's stuff you would have already seen before. So I'm feeling kind of lost. I don't know. I mean, I'm not really too concerned about walking too far. It's been a couple of weeks, and my knee has been giving me a little bit of trouble, but I haven't been going really fast. It is a warm day. I'm not feeling any of the effects of any heat-related diseases, which I will get into shortly. I just kind of want to tell you where I am and what I'm doing here. There are a couple of what appear to be direct trail links to Lake Fayetteville, which brings in some interesting opportunities to make Lake Fayetteville Trail actually longer by going down those connectors. And I may investigate that in the future. And as I did kind of lose my way, I may have gone more than the 5.25 miles that I've been doing in Lake Fayetteville. Most of the information that I have currently just readily at hand in my mind comes from the Mayo Clinic website, Mayo. And I will have a link to that in the show notes. I don't know right now if it's mayoclinic.com or something else. I eventually did kind of figure out where I was because right now I'm crossing under the Fulbright Expressway, which I've been on many times. I've driven a bus in this town, and I lived here and worked here for like 2 years. I should know my way around, but there's still lots to explore, so it's an adventure. And my memory isn't that good. So like I said, it's an adventure every day when your memory is really bad. And I'm in another tunnel, which is nice and cool, but the acoustics are not very good. A couple of facts kind of stuck out in this information. And the number 104 came up a couple of times as an indicator of dangerous temperature levels, core temperature levels. And this could be true even if, you go to the doctor these days, they don't want to get too intimate with you, so they take your temperature on your forehead or your ear or somewhere else, which is probably close enough. But the core temperature is actually the most accurate way to get this is through a rectal thermometer. So don't think you have to get all the way to 104 degrees to really be in trouble. If you get to 104 degrees, it's time to go to the emergency room or the doctor or consult somebody about your situation, or at least take some action. Now, most people don't have the ability to determine their exact temperature in a, without any instrumentation. I mean, I can't even tell now what my temperature is. It's probably maybe 99. It's got to be warmer than usual. And that's one of the things that were brought out by the Mayo Clinic. Exercise in itself raises your body temperature and puts you in a level of more stress. And we talk about warming up for exercise, and that's important for making sure that you don't get damage to your muscles from, if they're warmed up, they've got enough blood flow. And that's what your body does. It moves blood to the areas that need to be cooled. It's the only way to really take the heat away within your body. That's a mechanism that happens. Now, on your skin, you'll have blood flow to the skin, the surface of the skin as well, and activates your sweat glands are activated, so you sweat, and through evaporation of that sweat, that also carries some heat away from your body. And this is an interesting thing I learned that I didn't really understand. I always knew, it felt hotter when the humidity was higher. We talked about, it's hot, but it's a dry heat, so it's not as bad. The reason for that is when the air is already saturated with moisture, it's more difficult for evaporation to occur. And so you're not being cooled. Your body is not able to cool itself as efficiently or effectively as when you have less moisture in the air. And there are several illnesses associated with this, and heat stroke and heat exhaustion. And I don't have the detailed information at my fingertips here. So be sure you check out that website so you know. There are flag conditions that kind of give you a warning on whether it's too hot and you shouldn't go out. And I remember having those on a military base when I was there, especially in the warmer areas like Florida. And I think black is the worst. Black is the hottest, so if there's a black flag, you don't go out. I could be wrong. Again, that's all on the website, so you can find it there. So check runningafever.com. Depending on your app, it may also be in there. Some apps do not propagate links very well, so you may have to go to the website runningafever.com, which is a good place to visit anyway. If you want to go straight to the YouTube channel, runningafever.com/YouTube. So I'll be interested to see what the step count and mileage is for today, to find out exactly how far I went. I don't think it's going to be that much farther than 5 miles, maybe closer to exactly 5.25 miles. Who knows? Anyway, I haven't been experiencing the symptoms of heat-related illnesses, which may include nausea, vomiting, lightheadedness, dizziness, irritability, vision problems, headaches, cramps. So in addition to heat stroke and heat exhaustion, there's also dehydration, which no doubt can contribute to all these other problems because water is what helps you cool the body as well. So it's important to be hydrated, you know. And before I came out here, I had a smoothie. It's the new smoothie. I tried a new smoothie, and I made it last night. I had some leftover juice that I just put in the fridge and put some ice in this morning, and it's fine. It's very strong, and it includes a grapefruit, a couple of lemons. I peeled all of these first, and a Granny Smith apple. I sliced all these up like a day or so ahead of time, and I put them in a container and put them in the freezer. So I got all these fruits are already frozen solid, and I put them in the blender, and that way you don't have to add, supposedly you don't have to add any ice or anything. And I put lemon and lime juice in with them. I imagine most of you by now are saying, good Lord, that sounds terrible. To me, it's pretty awesome. I love sour fruits, and I like them especially with salt. But anyway, I put too much in. I think I was just concerned because everything was frozen that it was going to be too thick. That's no big deal. You can always add more liquid later if you need to, but I'd already put it in there, so there's no separating the lemon juice from all the other stuff after you put it in. Lemon and lime juice, I used most of a bottle of lime juice. This all together was probably 3 or 4 servings, but very low in calories because, you know, you had an apple, which is maybe 95, no banana, which would have been 130. I didn't have that in here because I didn't have any kale or anything like that. I do have some bananas. And so I had that last night, and so I wound up, it was too much liquid, so I wound up having to throw some ice in there to make it a little thicker. And, you know, I mean, it's juice. It's really juice. Wish you had to pour a lot of juice in there, but there's actually some fruit in there, so you get the fiber as well. So you can just drink it, or you can make another smoothie out of it. And I drank the rest of that. Actually, I may still have a little bit, but I drank enough of that to fill my little 1 serving blender. And I drank some water, like a couple of cups of water, and also brought a bottle of water and drank it on the way over here. And right before I came out here, before a workout, I usually have a whey protein shake. And I got that, it was a chocolate. I ran out of my coffee ice cream whey protein, so I'm trying a new brand. And maybe one time soon I'll have kind of a shoot off between those brands. And by the way, I need to give credit for this idea to one of my listeners, Tom Rohr of Rogers, Arkansas. Tom Rohr, thank you for your suggestion of this topic. If you would like to hear your name in town and your topic discussed on Running a Fever, just drop me a line, mail@runningfever.com. There's a really good chance I'll use it. And so I got some ideas from him, and I've just been brainstorming on, you know, other topics, but the best ideas come from feedback from listeners, I think. So he also suggested maybe doing some equipment reviews and things like that. How to get the equipment is another story. I may not actually be able to try it, but hey, some podcasters do. We'll see how it goes. On my way back to the Mud Creek Trail, I just saw the first sign for that. And yeah, see, there's all kinds of trails here. And this area is known for all its great trails all throughout the area. Good hiking, biking, walking, running, beagling, all sorts of activities like that. crossing what I think is Skull Creek at this point, or some branch of it. Mud Creek. Mud Creek's a tributary of the Illinois River. In case you missed that last time, just a little fact, fun fact. So, I had those that are drinks and nutrients, and I suppose that can help me maintain my energy and clarity and everything, but it's gotta be mixed with water. So I had a couple glasses of water on the way down here, or before I left. Drank a bottle of water on the way down, as well as my protein shake. I was drinking all the way down. Back in my car, when I get there, waiting for me are 2 ice cold bottles of water. I was gonna get some of those cold packs. I have 2 of those from when I was icing my knee. But because my freezer is so full these days, I'd taken them out and they weren't cold. But I did sacrifice my entire ice supply, which is a pretty significant thing on a Saturday, to keep this water cold, so when I got back, I could guarantee that I could recover from the heat and fluid loss of this endeavor. Now I'm coming back up on the mile marker in question that I was referring to when I tried to do the math, and Amy so kindly reminded you that I was trying to do math, in case you didn't catch that. And we'll see if I remember correctly. Start. Okay, end Skull Creek Trail, 3.75 miles. So that's what I thought it was. But I never saw a 3.5, a 3.25, any of that. So I guess within a quarter mile you get on the Razorback Greenway and they just forget all about the markers for Skull Creek Trail, probably until later on. Something to keep in mind for next time. There appear to be several ways that I can enter this trail. Now, when I came in, there was nobody else in the parking lot of the trailhead. It's the Mud Creek Trailhead, probably only Mud Creek Trailhead there is. And it hasn't been that crowded out here. Howdy.
How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Hey, okay, how are you?
Good. All right, so suppose you start feeling dizzy, or you start seeing test patterns in front of your eyes. You take your rectal temperature and it turns out to be 105. What do you do? Well, there's several treatments. You can, if you want to loosen your clothing, and to help prevent problems, you can wear loose fitting clothing that breathes, that allows your sweat to evaporate and your skin to cool your body. Also kind of recommended you wear light clothing, because dark clothing absorbs heat, I say, as I walk around in my black neck to ankle clothing today. Fashion Report. I'm sporting my Memphis Barbecue t-shirt. Everything else is pretty much the same. Get out of the heat as soon as possible. Howdy. Get out of the heat as soon as possible. Cool yourself down. You can pour water on your body to help cool things down. And if somebody needs to go for help, they recommend that you try to keep somebody to stay with you. If you're on your own, I don't know. I guess just wait until you recover. It's also recommended not to go out in the middle of the day. A lot of this stuff is just common sense. I headed out about 4 o'clock today. Not exactly the cool evening hours this time of year. But hey, I'm learning. I am learning. So I know that at the last marker I had 2 miles to go. And it's been an hour and 52 minutes so far. This may be actually the longest duration workout that I have ever had. It's very possible. Maybe a new personal best in the modern era. The running a fever era. Diet report. I had a pretty big breakfast and a pretty big lunch. I had agreed to meet a couple of my friends, and I could still eat healthy. I've talked about this. I went to Waffle House and had pecan waffle with syrup and butter, and 2 sausages, which they brought us by accident, and 2 slices of bacon. So that's about 1,000. Lunch was a burger and fries. About 800-900 calories, something like that. So my lunch, and I didn't eat anything else really, already had 1,900 calories. And then I had the smoothie and the shake. I'm at the 0.5 mile point, which means I have 1.5 miles to go. So probably roughly 2,200 calories already. And that's a fairly good day for me. So normally I would have another 600 to 900 calories to go. I can still eat dinner. I did expend quite a bit of energy today, and I'm seriously considering cutting my grass when I get home today. But it's already been a pretty hot and long day, so maybe not. Maybe I'll wait till Monday. So yeah, I probably will have some dinner, and maybe not anything after that. But, I chose to do that. I could have eaten healthy. I could have had, 2 eggs and 2 slices of bacon for breakfast. Could have had any number of things for lunch. Salad, grilled chicken. Left the fries on the plate. Not eating them. Just the burger. If I'd gotten a plain burger instead of the blue cheese burger, would have only been about 500 calories or so. Maybe 5. So let's see. Oh man. Amy's gonna, if I try to do the math, Amy's gonna tell me. So there you go. I'm not gonna try to do the math, but you can do it. I've done it many times. I've got on my fridge what a hamburger is, or what a cheeseburger is. I think the cheeseburger is like $5.68. So since I did have cheese on it, that's what it would be. It'd be well under 500 calories without the cheese. That would have been relatively easy. In fact, I was planning on getting without the fries, but you know, there's that whole thing. Well, your fries come with it. They'll either give you fries or chips. That's your choice. I could have just asked them to leave everything off, but I didn't. So I didn't really take the light route today, and that's okay. I'm 2 pounds over the previous target weight. I am trying to cut, and I haven't been that good at that. I haven't been that worried about it. And honestly, my dietitian would probably not approve. Kind of ought to, you know, just show myself I can still do it. But I haven't been exercising as much as lately, you know. I've had the physical therapy visits. Those have been good, but not much of a workout. I haven't been walking at work as much because I haven't been on my own. Routine at work has changed. I need to just get over that. The best way to remedy heat exhaustion is to immerse yourself in ice water. Sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it? I feel like right now that might feel good. I gotta tell you what's happening. I'm not really feeling a lot of pain, but my hands have swollen, and that's not usual. I don't know what's causing that. So looking forward to some ice cold water when I get back to the car. Maybe like a mile away or something. Anyway, hope this has been helpful. It's another kind of report on things that you need to know. And if you're heading into summer weather, I don't know when you're listening to this, could be any time of the year, but put it in your back pocket, go visit that website and do the right thing. Be prepared. And I still got the fever for staying healthy and keeping you healthy. And I hope you do too. And I will talk to you next time. This is the Padua Podcast Network. PaduaMedia.com